Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawah Shah, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawah Shah, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawah Shah. All praise to Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawah Shah, Ba'ashem Rikakat Dash. Now, looking at this marriage license situation, is very difficult to explain to these women what we're talking about, because they are so brainwashed with America, like America has been going on, or the thing that's going on in America, Babylon the Great, has been going on to the beginning of time, you see. But they don't understand that these marriage licenses, or the situation of getting a marriage license, started around in the 1900s, and it went to all states in 1929. But let's go into the scriptures and break down what the scriptures say about marriage. Now you got Deuteronomy 22 and you have Exodus 22. That's in the law. So when you're dealing with the law, Deuteronomy 22 and Exodus 22. And then you got the New Testament, 1 Corinthians 7, and you got Hebrews 13. Now let's do the New Testament before we do the Old Testament, so-called Old Testament. Let's get Hebrews 13. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. And it reads, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. So when you look at that verse, it's saying marriage is honorable. And it breaks down what is marriage. It's talking about the bed. Being in the bed with a woman is honorable. It's not something that is, nasty or some kind of sinful situation. It's honorable to be in the bed and have relations with a woman. But it's two things that you can't do when you in the bed with a woman. It says whoremongers. Okay, you can't be selling this woman, using this woman for merchandise. You sleeping with the woman and you selling her to other men to lay with her for money. That's the first thing. That's defiled. It's defiled if you using the woman, you so-called pimping this woman out and sleeping with this woman. Then the other thing is adulterers. If this woman is betrothed, meaning is she engaged to a man to be married, or she's with a man and she's married to a man, having relations with another man already, then the bed is defiled. Now that's only two things. But if you get with a woman and she not being used as merchandise, because that's what monger means, to sell, and she's not somebody else's, the marriage bed is undefiled. That sexual relationship is undefiled. Nobody can tell you doing something wrong. You see, like these dragons will try to push, knowing that their laws are just just recently fabricated mess. But let's go into the law of God before we break down their law. Let's go into the law of God Now let's go to 1 Corinthians. I said I'm going to do the New Testament. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. We're going to break all these verses down. Chapter 7. Now we're going to start it off at verse 2. It say, verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife. You see, not somebody else's wife, have his own wife. And let every woman have her own husband. You see? And so when you get to, verse 5, they say, default ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves so to fasting and to prayer, and come together in the bed again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. So it's letting you know, once you start having relations with this woman and she's your woman, don't default the person and withhold it, because then Satan's gonna come in, the adversary of your relationship, and they gonna come in and have adultery going on. Now we got that. Now verse 36 of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, it say, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virginity, meaning that he feel that he need to get a woman, if she pass the flower of her age, meaning she past puberty, it said if she pass the flower of her age and need so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not, let them marry. You see, he didn't say nothing else. He just said let them marry. And he definitely didn't say go to the Romans and get no kind of permission. Now let's go into the Old Testament and see what the law says. Let's get Deuteronomy 22 first, because it gives more detail to the situation. Deuteronomy 22. It says, and I'm going to read verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, meaning she's not promised to another man, and lie hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, 29, then the man that lie with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, that she shall be his wife, because he have humbled her, he may not put her away all the days. Now they didn't say go if he lied with this woman and they was found that they was lying around with each other, sleeping with each other, get the daddy and go to the high priest and let her walk down the aisle, and the daddy, the high priest, see the daddy giving her away to somebody else. See, that ain't what it's talking about. It ain't said nothing about no high priest, because he was the law at the time. It just said you go to the daddy and you deal with this situation. Now let's go to Exodus and get Exodus about the same situation. Now we talking about people that unmarried trying to find him a mate. And what's the process? 22:16. Or is it 16? Yeah. 16. No, Salakia. I'm looking at 21:16. It's 22:16. Okay, say if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, meaning she's not promised to another man, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. But see, that's not the end of the story, because verse 17, if her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So it's not even the daughters or the woman's choice in this situation. But see, that's why they say we call these people the dragon and the deceiver, because they done turned everything upside down, where these women are just frolicking around by themselves, and only thing they want to require is you to try to put some ring on their finger and talk about a darn license. And that's not in the Bible. The only issue was the daddy. Now, they trying to, if they holding on to that, they pretty much saying that the state is their daddy, the government is their daddy, and the man got to go to the government and pay and get it with a contract with the government and say, I'm gonna give $80 to $100 so I can have this woman from your government or your state. You see, that's what they pretty much saying. But see, even that is a darn lie. Even in the government, it's not. That's not even required, because you got something called common law marriage. And this license crap has just started in 1929. Now look at this common law marriage in totality. Now look, common law marriage, it say, like the rest of the common law tradition, common law marriages are not based on state statutes and rules about getting married, getting a marriage license. You see? So these peoples was getting married before 1929 and way to the Bible days, and nobody wasn't talking about no marriage license. Now it say, rather a couple wishing to marry under the common law would simply start living together, simply start having relations, and consider themselves spouses, not some. So now they got to consider themselves spouses by telling people and maybe doing some things together. But they was not required, or they are not required in some states, to get a license. So these women trying to act like a license is just the creme de la creme and just the ultimate thing that they got to do. Or if they don't get this license, they cannot deal with you. I can't deal with you. You don't want to get a license. I don't want to deal with you. You see, that's how the devil works in contaminating the mind of these women. They don't know history, and they're looking at the situation in a carnal way. Now it says, before the different states started writing down laws regulating human behavior and interactions, the common law reigned. That's what was going on. Common law was the written body of law in England in yesteryear. Now when you say in England, you talking about with King James and the tribe of Judah was ruling, and some of these other Israelites was ruling as nobles up there. And they had a common law. They wasn't writing nothing down back then. It was just known that this is, once you get this woman, this your woman. Y'all married. Finishing the paragraph, based on the community and societal customs generally not written in statute books. You see, they was not worried about no paper, putting some paper down. You know, they wasn't worried about that. So when they simply started living together, considering themselves husband and wife, they didn't need no marriage license. Not in the Bible, and not in the early 200 some years, 1776 to 1929, almost 200 some years, nobody was worried about a marriage license. This in 1930, right before, during the Depression, round about when the Depression hit, then they started doing all this marriage license stuff. And some states still don't have it, and they recognize common law marriage, but the most of the time you're going to have to deal with it is at the end of a person's life. So when they do let the state know that they was dealing with a common law marriage, it's at the end when somebody die. Then the state recognized the common law marriage because they was living together. You see, ain't no 7-year crap. I don't know where they got that from. That's a myth and a lie. They recognize common law marriage when the person die, and they tally up the the belongings of the person, or the house or the car, or whatever the person was dealing with on that situation. So people saying they need to go get a marriage license because they might have property if the person die. That's what common law marriage is for. You still ain't got to get no license. So this license stuff is just a way that these women can be wicked and whores and say, "Oh, you don't got no marriage, you ain't gonna get no license. So we just gonna have sex and you don't mean nothing to me." When sex is marriage, sex is to consummate the marriage. Now I'm going to end it with this last verse. Now, the high priest or the priest, they could not marry whores. They could not marry women that wasn't virgin. Now, when you go to Deuteronomy 22:13 through 15, it talks about the tokens of the damsel's virginity. If a man lie with a woman and say she's not a virgin, and then the family, they have the tokens of virginity, meaning they have something to prove that she's a virgin. Because when they go into the bed chamber, it's going to be blood there. And they're going to come out and see that if it ain't no blood there, then they ain't got nothing. But if it's blood there, they're going to say, well, she was a virgin. Because, see, we got the evidence, the tokens of her virginity, it was blood there. So, that's how you regulate a marriage in God's law. Now, these people, they just want to run around and do whatever they want to do. And it's not according to God's law. It's according to man's law. And man don't even require it. That's just in the mind of these ignorant women. But I'm going to leave it there. All praise to YAHAWAH, by Hashem YAHAWAH, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. The kingdom is at hand. Shalom.